Good morning, me Alicia. Let's go ahead and get started with today's Power Hour. We are so excited about today's topic. Today's topic is it's about the connection with Carole Brown. Carole is such an incredible lady, designer, person. I love her. I know that everybody that works with her loves her, and she's got some really, really great stuff to say. Before we take the time over to her, just a few quick announcements. I know that we are into our second week of March, which means that we are into our second week of Me Alicia Madness, which will be running through the entire month of March. There are deals for literally any person who is involved in Me Alicia in one way or another. If somebody signs up to be a new designer, then they will receive additional Me Alicia money added to their account, depending on the kit level that they sign up with, anywhere from $25 to $150 in Mia money, which they can use to buy additional supplies, business supplies, more jewelry. They can start stocking up on the newer line that's coming out very shortly. And then existing designers, as you're recruiting, you'll receive extra cash depending on your recruit kit level. So be recruiting this month. They are going to get extra bonuses. You're going to get extra bonuses through March. So be sure that you're doing that. Also, fashion events. Be holding your fashion events. This is how you get people excited about the concept and wanting to be a part of the organization. And when guests spend $75 or more at a fashion event, they can get an additional piece for $15. It can be any piece. It can be a pair of earrings. It can be our most expensive piece for $15 only, as long as before tax and shipping their order is $75 or more. When you do that, you'll want to call into customer service to have the $15 piece added. So make sure that you put the order in and immediately call customer service. If you have a fashion event at night, I would suggest that you wait until the next day, put the order in, and immediately call customer service to add the $15 piece. That way they don't have to pay additional shipping costs. Because if their original order goes out before you add the $15 piece, then we do need to charge shipping on an additional shipment. So make sure that you are calling in to get that added. As well, fashionistas who book and hold a fashion event in March will receive a piece of their choice absolutely free. Any piece. Same thing, any piece whatsoever, they'll get it for free just for holding a party in the month of March. So same thing, be sure to call in to have that free piece added to your fashionista order when you close out your fashion event. So be holding fashion events, be talking to people about Me Alicia. This is an exciting time. The spring is in full swing. The sun is starting to come out. Things are starting to bloom, and Me Alicia is starting to really, take off. We've got the catalog coming out very, very shortly, some fun promotions and some exciting announcements. If you haven't registered for convention yet, do it. It's going to be so fun. It's going to be in San Diego. We're so excited about it. And you should have received an email, so you'll have a link with all of the information. You can also go on Facebook and find the link and all of the agenda information and where to register and everything like that. So be sure to be reserving your spot now, because I know that the price goes up after a little bit of time. So reserve your spot now. That's pretty much everything that I have. I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to Carole. And if you think of any questions or comments as Carole is giving her presentation, please post them on the Power Hour post on Facebook, and we'll have a little Q&A at the end. Okay? So Carole, take it away.
Hi, Michael. It's Carole Brown. Can you hear me?
Yes, you sound
okay.
Great.
I want to make sure I was on. All right. I am so excited to be on today. The magic of connecting with people is my passion. To tell you a little bit about myself, I do have 28 years of party plan experience, so this is a new journey for me with Me Alicia, which I'm very, very excited about. And I have had to learn over my 28 years how to connect with people. It just doesn't happen. So it is all about asking questions. So I'm going to give you a lot of training today on things that I have accomplished over my time, and I'm incorporating all this right into Me Alicia. Sales are sales, and it all works the same way. If you want to succeed, you must learn how to connect. People can have a big business, but many times they don't know how to connect with their customers. They don't know how to connect with their team, and it just really is very hard for them. And it is not a trait that we're born with. We have to learn how to connect with people. I had to learn how to do that. I was a very shy young girl growing up. I have 3 other sisters, and of the 4 of us girls, I was the last one of the 4 you would ever dream that would be in sales, because I was always the very shy, introverted daughter that always hid from the pictures and everything else. And when I was a senior in high school, I just decided one day I don't want to be that way anymore. I know I can change this. I know I can do different. And I actually was able to accomplish it. Of course, when I got into sales after I got married, I didn't start direct sales. My family was pretty young, but it was after a few years. And I just kept after it and kept working and striving, but then I had to learn to teach myself, and through reading books and things like that. As I'm sitting here visiting with you this morning, I have a bookshelf that my husband has made me, and it's like 4 rows of books, and I've probably read every one of them. That is something we have to always feed our mind. We have to continue. I love to read how other people have become successful, because that motivates me really, really, because I think if they can do it, I could do it too. One of my best authors over the years has been John Maxwell. He is just it's an easy read book. He has a big collection of books. They're not expensive, so you can have several of them, and it's something you can read a chapter and within 10-15 minutes and gain so much from it. I always take a magic marker and I circle different comments when I'm reading, so when I flip back through that book, then I don't have to read the whole book to realize why I did like comments in that book. And the magic of connecting basically came from some of his training out of this book, so I recommend everyone get it. It's called Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. And that's very true, because we communicate with people all the time, but we don't always connect with them. One of the favorite sayings, and I don't know why, it's just a rule of thumb. We're always saying, "How are you?" You know, we call someone on the phone, "How are you? How are you?" Before we ever get into our conversation, we meet someone at the store. "How are you? How are you doing?" And it's sort of like just a way, I guess, of saying something to someone, but it would be so much better if we would say, "Tell me about your day," or "What's going on in your family?" Any kind of a question about the other person. To learn how to make friends with people and to learn how to connect with people is asking questions about them, not telling them about you. People love to hear their name. When someone would, they call me and say, "Carole Brown, how are you doing today?" It's like, wow, it just makes me feel good, because they are talking to me. They're not just saying, "I'm calling to see how you're doing." It's like, "Carole Brown, how are you doing?" I had this happen when I was going to the post office so much. I used to do a lot of mailings because I did a lot of advertising. And it seemed like I was always going to the post office about every day. And after several years, I knew the names of the postal people in there because I was in there a lot. But I guess I just never really told them my name. Of course, my return address was on everything. And one day I got ready to walk out, and I turned around, and Dan says, "Carole, you have a great day today." And it almost caught me in my tracks. It's like, he knows my name. I just couldn't believe he knew my name, because I was always he's waiting on me. And I felt like a new person just because I felt like he knew my name. I know he knew it all along, but he hadn't said my name. So it's the same thing when you meet someone on the street. If you're running into a girlfriend, and it's like, "Hey, Kim, how are you doing today?" And then that's exactly what I said. You don't want to say to them. So see, it's very normal for us to say, "How are you doing?" I could say to Kim, "What's going on today?" Or "Where are you going today?" Or "How's your family?" Something like that. So it's learning. I still have to keep learning to do it myself. Now, these are examples of people communicating, not connecting. Example number 2, friends who only talk about themselves. We all have them. That just happens, and they don't even understand that they are not connecting with you. They're only communicating to you. I had an example, several months ago, where I had run into a friend at a pharmacy. We were both picking up prescriptions. And so I did say to her, how you doing? What's going on with your family? Well, after about 15 minutes, I knew everything. I caught up. I hadn't seen her for probably a year or more. I caught up on everything about her family, the total conversation. Never once did she would say, well, how's things going with you, Carole, or what's going on in your life? And it was okay, but when I walked out, I thought, oh, okay, that was an interesting conversation. But it was because it was a one-sided conversation. It wasn't a two-sided conversation. So we always want to make sure we have two people included in our conversation. Example number 3. This one's a really good one about connecting with people. One of my friends, her name is Brooke, she wanted to buy a new car. This was like last fall. And she had the car picked out. She knew what color she wanted. She knew what make she wanted. She'd been on the Internet, searching calling, connecting with car dealers, everything. Well, one car dealership had exactly what she was looking for, so she made an appointment after work to go view the car. Well, her and her husband went together. The minute they pulled into the parking lot of the dealership, there was a big sign in the window of this car, exactly the one that she wanted, that said, "Welcome, Brooke." And she said they both just sort of stopped the car and started giggling and laughing and said, oh, my goodness, that says "Welcome, Brooke. That must be it's my car." Well, she did end up buying the car. The sales lady was a very good sales lady. She connected with Brooke before she actually even greeted her, just because she said, "Welcome, Brooke." It was the welcome, and she used her name. And it was just, Brooke said, I just felt so good. I wanted to buy that car. I mean, it's like I wanted a good price, but I just wanted to buy that car because it said, "Welcome, Brooke." Number 4, as leaders, we must learn to connect with our team. And I am so excited because me and Lisa, we're growing like crazy. People are sponsoring like crazy. They're wanting to come and be aboard of me and Lisa, which is just wonderful. But then once we have team members, we got to understand we need to be the leader and connect with them. We're not just bringing them on board and then say, call me and let me know how your business is going. No, if you want to build a big team, and I think all of us probably want to do this, that especially if you're listening to this call, you have to learn to connect to your team members and not just communicate, but connect with them. An example of this is when you're asking them about one of their fashion events. Instead of saying, how was your fashion event, you can say to them, how did your fashion event go? Tell me about it. Then when you do that, you're showing interest. You want her to tell you about your fashion event. Sometimes if you say, how was your fashion event, that's a yes or no question sometimes. Well, yes, it was okay, or no, it didn't go so well. But when you actually tell me about your fashion event, sounds much more interesting. The same thing with your children. When your kids come home from school, say, tell me about your day. Instead of saying, how was your day, tell me about your day. Your child will light up and probably tell you a lot more than you ever expected them to say. So practice with your children. They're the best ones to practice on. And then compliment your team members and show interest in them. Compliment something listen to what they're saying about their fashion event. And when different things that she's telling you, you can always find something in that to compliment them on. But then also ask their opinion. Kim, if you was going to do something different at your fashion event, what would you do different for the next one? Or ask her, what did you feel good about? Because they love to share, hey, I feel good because I did this. And sometimes they're just grateful to be able to get through the first fashion event. But this can go on with all your fashion events, not just the very first one. This is a phrase I want you to all remember. People like people who like people. People like people who like people. We're all drawn to anyone that shows interest in us. I don't care whether they're strangers, family members, business associates, church members, or whatever. We all want somebody to like us. In my past company that I was with another party plane company for 28 years. And I was in the top recruiter line for probably about 10 years. I was always in the top 10. But for 2 years in a row, I held the position of number one recruiter, and that's after I've been in this company over 20-some years. Many people, after they've been in a company a lot of years, sort of don't always continue recruiting. I was never that way. I love the magic of helping people. I love to, who can I meet tomorrow? I just get up every day. Who can I help today? Who can I meet today? And I did some advertising, which when I did that, I did have to make a lot of cold contact calls. Well, for a year, I probably blew every lead away. I mean, I had to learn how to do this, and I think that was probably really the thing that sold me on the magic of connecting. Because my conversation with the lead, I would be telling them everything I had to tell them about the company. You do this, and you get this, and when you do, reach this level, you're going to get this, and we go on a trip, and I mean, I just went on and on and on. And I know when they hung up, they probably thought, I do not know who that lady was, what she really had to say, but I don't think I could do anything because she talked too fast, and I didn't even get to talk. Well, after not getting, I did sponsor a lot of people, but they didn't do anything. A lot of them didn't, not everybody. A lot of them didn't because I never made that connection with them. Again, it was a one-sided conversation. So anytime you're talking to someone, analyze yourself. We are our own best critic. So analyze yourself and think, what could I have said different? And was it a two-way conversation? Did I do all the talking? And, when we're new and we're nervous and we're a little bit scared, we think that the more we talk, the better it's going to be. Well, that's not always the way, but that's a normal thing. So if you're experiencing that, it's okay because you're going to learn different. You build trust with people by being friendly. Practice being friendly. Sometimes it's not easier. It's not as easy. My husband's a very quiet person. It's harder for him to just go up and strike a conversation with someone. He'll say to me, I don't know how you can talk to a stranger for 30 minutes on the phone. What do you say to them, or what do you talk about? I said, well, we talk about, both of us are talking. I mean, we're sharing with each other. And he could never do that. That's just not his comfort zone. They always say opposites attract. But when you're on the phone, you want to make sure you're smiling as you're talking. So get you a mirror that you can have, that you can be glancing in that mirror to making sure you got that smile on, because a smile always carries through on the phone. And one of the questions that worked the best for me, and this is something I learned by doing this, tell me about yourself. It's the first question I ask anyone. And you can still use this question when you're talking to a hostess, when you're talking to a customer, anyone, because, everyone, most of them that come to our shows, they're strangers. But if you ask your hostess, even before your show, well, tell me about yourself, tell me about your family or anything, they feel really connected with you. But when I would ask that question, tell me about yourself, and then pause. And sometimes we have to pinch ourselves to keep from talking because we want to keep talking, because as long as we're talking, we don't have to wait for maybe a negative answer. But always just sort of pause, let them answer. You will be very surprised the information that contact will share with you. And the information they give you will give you the questions to ask them again. It's like if you're building that conversation just immediately. The next thing I would ask them is what piqued your interest in our company. I want to know why they're interested, because some people are interested for the comp plan, some people are interested for the jewelry, some people don't even know why they're interested. It looks like fun. I think I would like to do that. So that way you know whether you have a business builder, whether you have someone that wants to make a lot of money, a little bit of money, or someone that just wants to social. This helps you help others when you learn what they want about it. One of the questions I would ask is, do you wear a lot of jewelry? Or what type of jewelry do you wear? Do you like the gold, the silver, classy, blingy jewelry, or more casual? This helps me know and connect with my prospect. When I joined Mealesia, my friends and family, they loved the company, the concept. They thought it was great, and they liked the jewelry. Because I did a lot of researching because I was leaving another company to come with us. I loved the comp plan. That was one thing that inspired me. But also I knew if the jewelry wasn't right, the best comp plan in the world is not going to work. I have to have a product that I can love and have passion and sell. Well, after researching a lot of different party plan companies, with the jewelry, I knew that Mealesia did have the right jewelry. I mean, I was very, very excited. but I didn't. I had to learn how to wear the jewelry. Now I wear lots of jewelry. So it's like our customers are the same way. Our prospects are the same way. They may not wear a lot of jewelry, but there's just something magical about me, Alicia. They want to be a part of it, but you've got to connect with them to find out what part and where they're going to fit in the program. So they can open up, because I don't want to talk about, all this type of jewelry, and then she's thinking, I don't wear a lot of jewelry. I don't know if I can do this. Well, my story would tell her she could do this, because I didn't wear a lot of jewelry either. But I wear a lot of it now, and I love to share it with others. And I have family members that same thing, they didn't wear a lot. Now they're big customers. And then I want to know how much money they want to earn, because that makes a huge difference. I would say in a calendar month, tell me about how much money you would like to add to your family budget. If they would say $500, then I would know they're probably going to be a very casual seller. And I would share with her, well, that's going to be probably a couple of shows a month. Would that work in your family budget time? And, of course, you're going to get a yes or no there. But if they say $1,000, I said, well, that's going to be about 4 to 5 shows. And I'm basing this like on a $500 party average here. So I guess the first one would be one party, not two. So if they want to do that, then I'm going to tell them maybe right around 4 shows a month. I don't like to say, I would rather base it on the show. You need, on an average show, you need to hold this many fashion events to reach that dollar figure. That way, I sort of know which direction to lead them. Now, if my prospect would say, I want to earn $5,000 a month, well, I don't think they're going to be really excited if I tell them they need to do like a show every week or every night. Like, okay, let's do so many shows a night. I would say to them, well, let's work on the first $1,000 with your shows, or even $2,000 with your shows, and then I will teach you how to sponsor other people, and we'll help you build a team so you can get the additional income with your team. And again, I learned all of this by connecting with them because I asked them questions. Then after the conversation's going and you just get a good feel for it, after a while you sort of know, okay, we got to end this conversation, and many times we don't know how to do it. So what you're going to say to them, is there any reason we could not go ahead and just order your showcase today? And if we did do that, which showcase would you choose? Is there any reason is a magic question. Is there any reason you couldn't book a show today? Is there any reason why I couldn't do a concept show with you? It's another statement that's really easy to work with. This way, you are actually controlling the conversation, because so many times it's that very end question. It's like, I just keep talking because I'm afraid to ask them that question. They're going to say yes or no. Is there any reason we could not order your showcase today? And if they can't, they're going to tell you exactly whether they want to, whether they don't want to, or they're going to give you the reason. Now, number 6, I want you to get out of your house and connect with people. We have to do networking. You're not going to build your business always sitting at home waiting for the phone to ring or calling somebody up. In my previous company, I had one of my top leaders had moved from one state to another. Her husband's a minister, so she had to rebuild her business in a new state about 8 or 9 hours away. And it was a little scary at first, but although she could still continue running her business in the other state, she was moving to a different one. So when she went there, she did get some ladies from the church that he was going to. They went ahead and said they would book parties with her. But then she of course, didn't know people. So what she did was go to the local coffee shop 2 or 3 times a week. She would go in and take her laptop with her, take her catalogs and a few products, and basically sit there and pretend like she's doing business. She might write out invitations. You can always look busy. And it was amazing, the contacts and the bookings and the connections she made by going to the coffee shop. Because people, after a few days, they would go in and they would notice that Jessie was back again. And she ended up building a very large team in another whole state by doing that. And I got to thinking about that the other day when my husband and I had gone out for dinner, and we've lived in this area our whole life. And yet it was a very nice restaurant we were in, and I was just sort of looking around. I thought, I hardly know anyone in this restaurant. So I don't have to move to a different state or go to a different town to find strangers. We have strangers everywhere we live. So sometimes we think we can't do business because we know everybody. Go out to eat sometimes, and you'll notice that you don't always know everybody. Then you want to go to the retail stores, the smaller shops. Sometimes the bigger retail stores are okay, but I like to get the little small boutique shops and places like that, and always have that smile on your face and go in and connect with them. And we can always carry a little bit of a jewelry with us. The other product line I sold before, I couldn't have done that. But with me, Alicia, always have your bag with you and have some jewelry on hand, have your catalogs, and just ask for their opinion. Say, I am launching this company in a new area, or started a new business, and I just would like to get your opinion of 3 or 4 of the products I carry. Would you mind sharing your opinion? Women love to give their opinion. So just by asking their question, would you let me share or give your opinion on these products? Another thing, if you go into a retail shop, a smaller boutique store or whatever, well, even at the mall, connect with any of the people working there, the associates, and try on some clothes. You don't have to buy them, but you can go in and try on different outfits, and then always ask their opinion. And then you share that you are in a jewelry fashion company, and you do fashion events, and you're picking up a couple of new outfits to wear to your shows. Do you think this would look okay if I wore it to a fashion event? And sort of explain. Trust me, they're going to ask you what kind of fashion event, and they're going to want to see some of your jewelry, and you make sure you have that in hand. Another place to go is medical centers, dental offices. They're very good places, and many times you can get some 1-hour stop and shops at those dental offices and different any kind of office buildings. You can say, I can come in on your lunch hour, and we could do just a stop and shop, and you can give me that value or your opinion of our products. I would love to do that. It's real easy. I'll only be here an hour. I've had some of my representatives have had some really big, up to $400 and $500 shows just by doing 1-hour stop and shops in different retail businesses. Now, my next topic is how can I make them feel special at a fashion event? Now, this is huge. When you look good, you feel good. That's always been the rule of thumb. When you look good, you feel good. We all know that. Many times we always joke and say, if you have to go ask your spouse, you think this looks all right for me to wear tonight? You knew in your mind it didn't look all right. So it's better to go and change your clothes to begin with. But and you can have just sort of one outfit you wear to your fashion events. But make sure that you feel good. You don't want to be overdressed, but you sure don't want to be underdressed either. So it's better to be dressed a little bit higher than underdressed. Then you need to do a self-talk on the way to your fashion event. Because when you get there, they're buying you. They always buy the consultant before they ever buy any piece of jewelry. Always remember that. And I know we're always nervous. You're driving down the road and you're thinking, your mind goes like crazy, and you think, I hope I have a good show. I hope I get bookings. I hope they like me. I hope they like the jewelry. And many times when we keep saying, I hope, we're putting these sort of negative thoughts into our head when we do this. And we don't want to do that. We want to have positive thoughts, like I am going to get bookings, and they are going to love the jewelry, and I'm going to have a great time, and the sales are going to be big. We have to learn to do that. Now, I like to get some peppy music on, something that really is, fun to listen to. But then I want to tell you a story of something that will really work. And actually, I did that before I did this call today, because even after 28 years, I can get a little nervous myself. I was watching the Summer Olympics about a year and a half ago or so. It's been a while back. And there was this swimmer that was getting ready to dive off the high dive. Just really cute little gal. She wasn't very big, just real tiny. And the commentators, how they're always, talking real low and everything, and they was saying to them, each other, said, look at this young lady. She is amazing. And what she's saying to herself as she's walking on the dive, down to the edge, just hanging over the edge, getting ready to dive, she says to herself, I nailed it, over and over and over. I nailed it, I nailed it, I nailed it. He said she will tell herself that all day. He said, you watch her dive. He said she has told her mind that she nailed it. When she does this dive, it will be perfect because she's already seen the dive in her mind before she ever does it. The dive was perfect. It was just absolutely amazing for me to watch. And I thought that is exactly how we need to do and go into any kind of business meeting that we go to, any kind of fashion event, any kind of sales appointment. We have to say to ourselves, I nailed it, or some type of positive thing that's going to relate to you. But this has worked really well for me. So I want you all to try it. Be sure and remark on the company Facebook site. We'd love to hear your responses. Actually, one of the girls this morning used the phrase, I nailed it, and I smiled to myself as I was reading it. We have 7 seconds to make a first impression. Always remember that. It's very important because you've got to make that first impression when you get there. Walk in the door, smile, be happy, compliment your host. I always call her by her name. And the minute I get in the door, I sort of glance around and try to find something that I can compliment that host on. I want to connect with her immediately. When you're setting up your product line, you always want to make it look easy. Be busy. Don't just set it up and then just sit down and you're waiting for everybody to come. You can always be rearranging your jewelry a little bit or just pretending like you're being busy. But yet you want to make it look easy. It's like, wow, maybe I could do that. That looked pretty easy. That's what you want your guests to think. I think I could do what she does. This looks like a lot of fun. As your guests come in, don't forget to smile, greet them at the door, and say, hi, I'm Carole. I'm so glad that you came today. We're going to have such a good time, and your name is, and let them say their name. Then repeat their name back to them. Thank you, Kim. I'm so glad you came today, because that will help you remember names a little bit. Now, I'll be honest with you. I'm the world's worst when it comes to remembering names. I try really hard, but that is not one of my better talents. But I do always ask them their name and try to connect with them that way. Then during your fashion event, when they first come in, we want them to go right to the jewelry. And Mia Alicia events are totally different than a regular, used to be what we call a party plan show, where everybody comes in, they sit around and they're visiting, and then you get up and do your demo, and then they take their orders and stuff like that. And that works, and it still does work. But our events are different, and that's what we want to get across with people. So when they're coming in the door, you're happy and you're excited and you're glad they're coming. Say, come in, let's start looking at the jewelry. I can't wait to show it to you. You want to get them started right away. Now, you will have some gals that they want to visit and stuff, so you don't want to be pushy with that, but tactfully trying to get them to the jewelry as soon as you can. And then ask them questions when they're browsing through the jewelry. This, again, helps them connect. If you connect with them, they will connect with you. Such as, do you wear a lot of jewelry? Or what style of jewelry do you like to wear? I mean, do you like the classy? Or are you more just something more simple? Do you like to layer a lot of different pieces? Because I'm finding that many people come to our shows that don't always wear a lot of jewelry. Well, what's exciting is they finally do feel comfortable in Mia Alicia jewelry. My sister's a prime example. She didn't wear a lot, and now she wears quite a bit of it. And because I don't wear a whole bunch, when the first time she came. And don't put all that stuff on me. And then I just had a lady the other day says, I don't like to wear glistening things. The silver's I would feel like it's too shiny. But the more she put things on and realized, hey, that does look good. I feel good. We want women to feel good about themselves. So the more questions that you can ask them by just how does it feel, that type of thing, and then suggest pieces to say that they got one particular versatile piece on. Say, hey, try this one with that. This goes really good with that. Or suggest pieces. If you like this style, then I'm sure you're going to like this one also over here. Women do not like to be sold, but they really do like to be helped. There's a total difference on that. So when you help others, and you go about, you're not trying to sell them that piece of jewelry, you're just helping them, you are connecting with them when you do that. Just have fun at your shows, mingle with them, joke around with them. You can do tell me about yourself, this type of thing. Because it just makes them have a good time, and they're going to come near booking with you. And then also ask opinion. If things sort of quiet down and you think, oh, they're not talking a lot or whatever, pick up 3 different versatile pieces and say, okay, we're going to do a little contest here. How many vote? I want your opinion on these products. Who likes what, And then I always many times like to share these are two of our best sellers because trust me, women want to buy what everybody else buys. If you say, well, I've sold, the Times Square, 3 people bought that last week, well, probably 3 people that night's going to buy it because women want to buy what everybody else buys. They go out to eat and say, what are you going to have to eat? What are you ordering? What difference does it really make what my friend is ordering? But we all do that. It's the same thing at your shows. They're going to try on what other people are trying on. That's just the way we are. At checkout, definitely talk about their name. They fill their order form out, and many times, and especially if I was going to come to you, you might not be able to read my name. I don't have the best penmanship anymore. So if you can't read someone's writing, just say to her, now, how do you pronounce your name? And then, like if her name happened to be Kim, I would say, Kim, I'm so excited you came tonight. Let's see what you did to choose. You can always offer the add-ons with it. Say, did you want to get something else to go with this? Again, you're not selling, you're helping them. And then one question that really has worked, and again, these are questions that really help us connect with people. And this will help you not only with your bookings, but will help you with your sponsoring. Share with them, say to them, have you ever thought about doing what I do? And you pause. Don't say another word. Just, have you ever thought about doing what I do? You will be surprised at the women that will say to you, yeah, I have thought about that. Because I'm telling you, they have. They've gone to a lot of different parties. I've done that myself. I've gone to a lot of different parties where, man, that looks like fun. I think maybe I could do that. So ask that question, and if they're interested, you give them info. If they're not, that's okay. Say, that's okay. I just always like to ask. And then when you get ready to ask them about having a show, they'll be so glad they don't have to sell. They'll book a show with you. Trust me. But that question is easy. It's not a pushy question. It's an easy thing to do. Practice it at all your shows, and you'll be amazed what will happen to you. Always remember, again, people like people who like people. And when you run your business that way, when you have a good time, and when you just care about who's there, and take yourself out of the picture, you always interest in them. It's amazing what will happen in your business. They do not remember what you said, not always what you did, but they will always remember how you made them feel. Connecting builds customers, and it will grow you a large business. So go out today, start connecting with people, start asking those questions, and you will have a huge Mia Alicia business. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carole. Really, really amazing stuff. If anybody has any questions or comments about what Carole was talking about, feel free to post them on Facebook right now. But for the most part, I'm sure that everybody was just furiously writing down every single thing that Carole has to say because it's gold. It really is just golden stuff. So thank you so much, Carole. We're so glad that you were able to host for us today.
Thank you.
And I think that's pretty much it. We don't have very many other announcements other than what we talked about at the beginning of the call. So get out there and be talking to people. Don't forget your smiles, and we will see you all next week. Thanks, Carole.